The Denver Nuggets just pulled off the most underrated trade in NBA history, and nobody's talking about it. While everyone's focused on the flashy free agency signings, Denver quietly transformed from playoff disappointment to legitimate championship contender with one calculated move that changes everything. Michael Porter Jr. and an unprotected 2032 first-round pick are heading to Brooklyn for Cam Johnson. On paper, it looks like a lateral move. In reality, it's the missing piece that unlocks Nikola Jokic's championship window. This isn't just about swapping one scorer for another. This is about fixing the fatal flaw that's been haunting Denver for 2 straight seasons. Let's be honest about what Michael Porter Jr. became in Denver. Sure, he helped them win a championship, but that was 2 years ago. Since then, he's been exposed in every crucial playoff moment. Remember the OKC series? When the lights got brightest and the defense got toughest, MPJ disappeared. His one-dimensional game became a liability when teams figured out how to take away his three-point shot. The problem wasn't just his shooting struggles. It was everything else he couldn't do. When defenses ran him off the line, he had no counter. No ball handling to create his own shot. No playmaking to find teammates. No defensive impact to stay on the floor. He became a ghost in the moments Denver needed him most, watching from the bench while Bruce Brown closed games during their championship run. That's the harsh reality Denver faced. They were paying max money for a player who couldn't be trusted in winning time. His injury history only made it worse, with his availability becoming a constant question mark. The Nuggets needed reliability, versatility, and someone who could step up when Jokic needed help carrying the load. Enter Cam Johnson, and suddenly everything makes sense. This isn't about replacing MPJ's scoring, it's about upgrading everything around it. Johnson brings the same elite shooting, but adds layers that make him unstoppable. He can put the ball on the floor and create his own shot. He can find open teammates when defenses collapse. He can guard multiple positions and won't be hunted on defense. Watch how Johnson operates in Brooklyn's system, running handoffs with their bigs and creating offense from nothing. Now imagine that same player running those actions with the greatest passing big man in NBA history. The synergy is terrifying for opposing defenses. Jokic's court vision combined with Johnson's movement and creation ability creates matchup nightmares that simply didn't exist with Porter. But here's where it gets really interesting. Johnson solves Denver's biggest problem, those dreaded non-Jokic minutes. When the MVP sits, the offense has historically collapsed because nobody else could consistently create quality shots. Johnson changes that equation entirely. He can run pick and rolls, create off the dribble, and keep the offense flowing even without their superstar on the floor. The playmaking upgrade cannot be overstated. Porter averaged barely 2 assists per game throughout his Denver career. Johnson consistently creates for teammates while maintaining his scoring efficiency. That's the difference between a shooter and a complete basketball player. When the shots aren't falling, Johnson has other ways to impact winning. Porter never developed those alternatives. Then came the cherry on top, Bruce Brown's return to Denver on a veteran minimum contract. The same Bruce Brown, who signed a 2-year, $40 million deal with Indiana just 2 seasons ago, is back where he belongs, ready to chase another championship with Jokic. Brown's impact goes beyond statistics. He's the culture setter, the energy provider, the guy who makes winning plays when they matter most. His championship experience with Denver is invaluable, especially for a team trying to recapture that magic. He knows exactly how to play alongside Jokic, when to cut, when to screen, when to take over defensively. The fit is seamless because Brown thrives in chaos. He's not your traditional point guard, but he's exactly what Denver needs. Someone who can defend multiple positions, create in transition, and provide that gritty presence they've been missing. His reunion with Denver feels like destiny, especially considering how much they've missed his intangibles since he left. Together, Johnson and Brown solved Denver's 2 biggest weaknesses from last season. Johnson provides the versatile scoring and playmaking they needed from their wing position. Brown brings back the defensive intensity and cultural leadership that held their championship team together. It's not just about talent, it's about chemistry and complementary skills. The championship math is simple but devastating for the rest of the league. Jokic remains the best player in basketball, capable of carrying any team to a title. Murray provides elite shot creation and clutch performance when healthy. Gordon anchors the defense and provides the athletic versatility they need. Now Johnson adds another dimension of scoring and creation, while Brown brings back the winning mentality that made their championship possible. This move also creates incredible depth and flexibility in their rotation. They can go big with Gordon and Johnson at the forward spots. They can go small with Brown and Johnson providing switchable defense. They can stagger their stars more effectively because Johnson can create offense without Jokic on the floor. The tactical options are endless. What makes this trade even more brilliant is the timing. They traded away a 2032 first-round pick, 7 years from now when Jokic will be past his prime. They're going all in on their championship window right now, when their superstar is in his absolute peak. That's championship-level thinking from a front office that understands their opportunity. The Western Conference just became exponentially more dangerous. OKC might be young and talented, but Denver now has the playoff experience and veteran savvy to match their upside. Minnesota has the defense, but Denver's offensive ceiling with their new pieces is higher than anyone's. The Lakers and Warriors have star power, but Denver has the perfect blend of superstar talent and role-player excellence. This trade sends a message to the entire league. Denver isn't content with moral victories or moral defeats. They're not satisfied with being competitive. They want another championship, and they've positioned themselves perfectly to get it. The pressure is now on every other contender to make their own moves or risk being left behind. The beautiful part is how this trade flew under the radar while everyone obsessed over bigger names and flashier signings. Denver operated in silence, identifying exactly what they needed and executing flawlessly. They didn't get caught up in the noise. They just got better in the areas that actually matter for winning championships. Jokic's championship window is now wide open, and Denver has surrounded him with exactly the right pieces to take advantage. Johnson provides the scoring versatility they desperately needed. Brown brings back the championship culture that made everything possible. Together, they've transformed Denver from a good team with championship potential into a legitimate championship favorite. The 2024-25 season hasn't started yet, but Denver just won the offseason. While other teams made splashy moves that will dominate headlines, the Nuggets made the move that will dominate games. When the playoffs arrive and the pressure mounts, don't be surprised when this overlooked trade becomes the difference between another disappointment and banner number 2 hanging in the Mile High City.